Hello, everybody. I'm Joe, as far as we have to go. I'm going to tell you a few intimate things today, so I'd rather we just go by Joe. Is that okay? All right. Well, I'm going to tell you a story today about a transformation. Actually, it's going to be about a metamorphosis, and the metamorphosis includes me turning into something else, right here on stage, Quasimodo or something like that, and a product that I've helped a number of people design that has been a transformation from one thing to another as well. And so it's kind of like something from something, or lemonade from lemons, if you will. And I also am going to tell you a bag story. That's why you have all these props here in front of me, because it's hard to tell a bag story without a bunch of bags. And there are actually 10, maybe 11, maybe 12, I don't know, but bags, and I'll point them out as we go. So first, I have a quote by Sir Elton John. "She packed my bags last night pre-flight." Come on, it's a hard crowd. Oh my gosh. Well, this first bag represents me. It is a definition of me. And there are a lot of things that could have gone into the bag, but the most important first thing I have is a picture. And you guys in the back row may not be able to see this, but let me just tell you that it's probably one of the most important pictures of my life. My wife here is the pretty one. I'm the bald one. My wife is the one that I wanted to point out. And she's my partner, my confidant. She encourages me, and I love her deeply. Second picture is as a result of loving her deeply. Lots of kids. And I can tell you that, again, intimately, my wife and I had a number of years of fertility issues. And so we suddenly started the faucet, thanks be to God. And we couldn't shut it off after a while. We had 4, 2 boys and 2 girls. And they are an incredible blessing to Sheila and I. And our family defines me. This is a shoe. It's a running shoe. It's a very important running shoe because 10 years ago, thereabouts, it helped me place first in a 5K race. The other shoe got eaten by the dog, I think. But I had my best time, 22 minutes, at 40 years old. That's not bad. And I did place first, but I placed first on the women's list because my wife went the night before and signed us up, and she didn't realize there were 2 lists, so I ended up on the women's list, and I came in first. I got a trophy. This is, people recognize this, it's supposed to be like a mounted fish. Reminds me that I fish, and I fish for fun, but it also reminds me that this is the old "don't worry, be happy" fish. Everybody remember that? How many raised their hands? Yeah, unbelievable. I think everybody bought one of these and put it in their living room. But I fish for fun, and that defines me. So by definition, I'm also a hunter. And this was a lucky hunting story. I won't tell you the story, but the importance to me of hunting is that I believe in the field to fork mentality. I have fostered that with my kids. My dad was a farmer, and so he knew the value of raising animals and chickens and getting his own milk and having his own crops and everything to collect and bring into the family. But I don't do that. We go to grocery stores just like all of you guys, but most of our meat comes from hunting. And I believe that God gave us a responsibility of stewardship of all the inhabitants of the earth, and therefore that means sometimes taking a life or preserving a life, and that defines me. So if you know who I am sort of with just that small bag of things, this also is a small bag. It was given to me 28 years ago by my parents. And it's a doctor's bag, and that's my occupation. I'm a physician. And it's a special kind of doctor's bag. It was intended to carry a stethoscope, maybe a tuning fork, maybe a hammer for your knees or something like that, maybe a little bottle of penicillin. But it was made to go on house calls, something we rarely do. I think in my practice of many years, I've done 2 house calls in my life. But the purpose for the bag is to tell you what my occupation is. The contents of the bag are a little bit more revealing. And so these are just like the clothes that I'm wearing. This is a hat that I wear in my job. And this is a mask that I wear in my job. And so everybody knows I'm a surgeon, right? Well, let me tell you about surgeons. Can you still hear me up there? Yeah, let me get that out of the way. Surgeons are a special breed of physician. If you can imagine maybe the most powerful person on earth, that's me. I'm a surgeon. Why am I the most powerful? You guys have medical issues. You come to me. You're going to pay me to cut you. You're going to pay me to take things out, pieces that you're accustomed to. You're going to pay me to sew things back up. Now, interestingly, that giving up of your control to me makes me a control freak. I'm in control. I'm in charge. I have to be in charge. Interestingly, my confidence sometimes comes off as arrogance. But who wants a non-confident surgeon, right? Your surgeon should be confident, should have steady hands, and clean fingernails. So that's the tip. Make sure you watch out for that when you're out there. But so that sort of tells you, again, my occupation, tells you where I'm coming from, because the next part of the story is the ironic twist. I'm a special kind of surgeon. I'm a urologist, a plumber. I fix certain parts of your body, plumbing parts of your body. Now, there are gastrointestinal parts that I don't deal with. There are vascular parts that I don't deal with, and true, those are plumbing jobs as well. But my job deals with the urinary tract. And certain kinds of cancer that I deal with, prostate, bladder cancer, kidney cancer, all involve that plumbing. And I've dealt with cancer of those structures for years. Well, the ironic twist is that one Sunday, my wife and I were eating dinner, and my family doctor, who knew me personally, called me and said, I have a blood test problem for you. I said, what's that? And he said, your PSA blood test. PSA, well, PSA stands for prostate-specific antigen. It's a test that controversially helps us find prostate cancer. Well, that's my neck of the woods, the prostate. I said, well, what's wrong with it? He said, well, you know, PSA stands for prostate-specific antigen. I said, I know that. He said, it also stands for patient suffering anxiety. And I said, where are you going with this? He said, well, your PSA is 28. Well, my PSA normally, a year prior, was 1.6. So I said, I don't believe it. I said, let's repeat it. So the next day I repeated it. It was 29. So my partner, who is another urologist, I'm in a group, biopsied me, and I think he cried more than I did when he told me I had cancer. So he and I suffered through that process. I became a patient. Bag number 3, bag number 3, bag number 4. This is an IV bag. And if anybody's ever had this, they know that putting this in your wrist is not fun, because the wrist is sensitive, and they stick it right in the big vein in your wrist or in your arm, and so now I have an IV. They took one of these. Everybody knows what that is. It's a catheter. They stick that in your, well, you know where they put it. So they put these things into me, and they laid me down, and they came in and they said, you're not in control. And I said, dang, this is a weird position for me. I've never not been in control. I've learned to be in control. I've been doing this for 22 years. I've got to be in control. Plus, it was an illness that I was accustomed to treating. So my wife and I went and met the surgeon. The surgeon was a wonderful man. He was recommended by many, many physicians. We trusted the people that I knew to tell me where to go, and that was the Michigan community that helped us out. He was an expert. He had steady hands, clean fingernails. But my first question to him was, do you believe in God? And he said yes. I said, I'm good with that. So what that did for me is I was not in control. He was not in control. And I knew who was in control. So my wife and I both said, okay, when do we sign up for surgery? Well, my prostate cancer didn't just involve my prostate. It had invaded the floor of my bladder. So if anybody understands that anatomy, let me explain if you don't understand. You need your bladder as a conveyance tool to get the urine outside your body, and urine is a waste product. It's not your kidneys, it's your bladder. The bladder is a storage organ, then it excretes urine. Well, if you have your bladder removed, you have to have some other way to get the urine outside of your body. And so I had my prostate and my bladder removed, and I woke up with, you guessed it, another bag. This bag fits on the side of my belly. It's got a wonderful kind of adhesive that sticks to you, and it gets stickier with body temperature. And then it's got a nice bag on the front with a little valve so you can open and close it when you want to. But doggone it, what a body change. All of a sudden, I go from a nice svelte surgeon with great abs to somebody with a hole through my abs and something red sticking out. And that's not normal. Do you know that there are 100,000 new ostomy patients in the United States alone per year? And they are ranging from kids to people your age to elderly people. And the reasons for their ostomies, or their stomas, stoma means mouth or opening, range from cancers to inflammatory bowel disease to neurologic problems, and unfortunately it means a change in their body shape. They're changing their mentality. It puts them on the ground. It puts them down. And I was in that spot. I was humiliated and I was humbled. And that was a hard spot for me. It's a hard spot for just about anybody that goes through that. But remember, anybody with a stoma had something fixed. And so I become an advocate for people with stomas because they had to have something fixed in order to have the stoma. Thanks be to God. Again, right? Okay, so thanks be to God, sure. I've got this new body habitus, this new stoma, this new thing hanging out. How do I do bags number 1 and 2? How do I be a physician? How do I change my clothes in the locker room into these scrubs and back into my dress clothes? How do I go to the gym? How do I get undressed and redressed in front of people? Meanwhile, what's the discomfort I've got now? These bags are sweaty, they're plastic, they do what they're supposed to do, which was to contain the waste products, but you perspire underneath them because they trap moisture. They're scrunchy, they make a crazy sound when people hug you, which I needed a lot of hugs at the time. They're odorous, they don't protect you against the odor, and they're unsightly. They make a bulge in your clothes, or when you're changing your clothes, there's a big red thing sticking out, a new butt, right? So my community rose up to help me. My staff at my office, particularly a bunch of girls, had a bunch of women that work in a church, local church, make a prayer shawl for me. And I understand that each of the stitches in this prayer shawl represent a prayer that was whispered at the time it was being knitted. And let me tell you, this sucker is warm. My community, my faith community, my family, my friends, and I should say our friends because I think my wife is sitting in the crowd, they rose up in our community and they brought us food. They took our kids to places when they need to go to a soccer game. They helped clean our house. They did a number of different things that between us with our healing process and with our brains where they were at the time, we needed a lot of help with. And they prayed like crazy. And this bag right here could not be ornate enough to explain the wonderful thing that's inside of here. And I have to show it to you, so, oh no. Well, it actually represents a bag full of air. And what it means is that while people were praying for us, we felt like we were walking on air. It was an incredible experience. We were down in the dumps, we were recovering from cancer, we had bills to pay and all kinds of problems, but we felt like we were walking on a cushion of air, and that's what your community can do for you. My wife knew that I was still down in the dumps, even though we were walking on air. I had a changed body habitus and still was having troubles with the different things that I wanted to do in life, so she started searching the internet. She found this. This is a stoma appliance cover. It's got a hole in the back to slip over the bag, but it's not elastic. It doesn't, I mean, it may hide your stoma, but then you got this plaid sticking out. You know, there's argyle colors and pink and red and blue. And, you know, if I get undressed in the doctor's lounge and I have this thing sticking out, all the doctors are like, what do you got there? But if I have a little bit more invisibility of my stoma, it might be better. So I didn't like this. I got rid of it. Well, I didn't get rid of it. I put it in the drawer. But my wife did find something for me that I thought was pretty handy. A lot of Velcro, a lot of elastic, and this thing goes around your waist. So see if I can put it on here for you. And, well, anyway, you get the idea. It's an elastic device that keeps your stoma in place, and it makes it so that you can exercise. You can go and exercise, and things don't slosh around as much, and you feel more secure. Well, that was a huge deal for me. That was all of a sudden I could run in the neighborhood, or I could do things without feeling uncomfortable or unstable. Well, just prior to having my surgery, we had made plans to go skiing out west. My family really likes activities, just like you can see I'm involved, and Sheila's involved in activities. But we had planned to go skiing out west, and it was going to be almost 4 weeks to the day from my surgery. And if anybody's had surgery, you know the doctor's always, oh, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, don't lift anything more than 10 pounds and all that kind of stuff. Well, we asked my surgeon, can we go skiing? And he said, well, yeah, but don't fall down. I said, well, how do I ski without falling down? Well, we went skiing. We went out to Big Sky, Montana. And if anybody's been there before, there's a peak that looks about like that. That's called Lone Mountain. And one day when we were coming down that mountain, my family and I, the sun was behind us. We were skiing east. The sun was west behind us, and just getting hidden by that mountain, but shining a golden hue on the Spanish Peaks, which was right out in front of me. Absolutely beautiful. We were perspiring because we were working like crazy. The fluffy snow was coming up and cooling our perspiration in our faces. And I stopped in the middle of the mountain. I saw my kids going down and my wife, and I said, I'm alive. How do I thrive now? I realized at that moment that I was alive. It was an incredible moment because you have to have an epiphany. When you have something that knocks you down, you have to have something that brings you up. And just knowing I could accomplish what I was doing that I thought I could do before, regardless of whether I had an ostomy or whether I had cancer or not, was a huge deal. Well, my family went to the gift shop, and they bought me a shirt, and this kind of says it all. It says, on earth as it is in heaven. And I said, yeah, I'm golden. I can do this. So I came home, and still was trying to be bags 1 and 2. And I thought, how can I do this? What am I going to do? Stoma appliances are plastic. Remember, they don't breathe well. You perspire under them. They feel wet. You don't know if you're leaking. When you go and get in bed and the sheet's over top of you, you get an odor, and you say, are those my feet? Is that my stoma? Is it my wife? My wife always said, no, it's not her. But so you got the idea that, you could smell something. And my sons and I were going to be going hunting. So again, we're active family. And I had decided that in my bucket list, one of the things I always wanted to do is go bear hunting. Bears have this huge snout. Why? Well, because then they can smell their prey, they can smell their food, they can smell the danger around them. And that snout means more than anything because they can't hear. They have little tiny ears, and they have little beady eyes. And so the nose and their olfactory sense is incredibly important. And so there's a friend of mine here in town that makes camouflage material that's got carbon impregnated in it, and that helps absorb odor. So we made, along with a team of helpers here in town, we're a manufacturing town, there are manufacturers around, we made this little nondescript thing here. And it's got elastic, you put it over your stoma, it has carbon impregnated, it helps absorb odors, it wicks away moisture, it makes it so that things don't get wet. And my team has brought it to the world. Why? Because my team believes in it. They believe it helps people. We've had a number of testimonies, and it helps people rise up from their low position. What could be better? So here in this manufacturing town, we've made lemonade from lemons. I've been transformed from a physician to a patient, back to a physician, still with steady hands and clean fingernails, but with some more empathy maybe. And I believe my time is up. I was going to show you this leaf bag, and that means leave me alone, or I'm leaving now. And I have my guitar hidden in there, and one of the things I always want to do is play guitar in front of people. So the song I was going to play is, all my bags are packed, I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. I hate to wake you up and say goodbye. The dawn is coming, it's early morn. The taxi's outside, he's blowing his horn. Already I'm so lonely I could cry. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving out that back door.